Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Cutting the Crap with Shap. So I'm here with my dear friend, Mrs. Anna Cruz. This is going to be one of those podcasts. First of all, we've never done when we've been sitting next to somebody, but this is the first one. And I don't think you're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to walk away just being so inspired and feeling better about who you are, learning a lot of things. So before I introduce Anna, let me give you a little backstory. So we've been working together for, I guess 25 years, or at least 25 years. We've been cafeteria manager or
No, I've been a catering manager
catering manager. What else?
for 18 years here at the William Tennant. I started at Stackpole actually, 2000, but Stackpole doesn't exist anymore. And then I went into Klinger for a few years, had a really good experience at Klinger. And then I came here and they made me a catering manager. So I've been dealing with a lot of teachers and doing all parties and things. A party girl.
And just doing an unbelievable job at that, not surprisingly. So that's kind of how we met, and we kind of share very similar values, belief systems, which we'll talk about a little bit. But I really believe that you're going to love the conversation we have. It's not going to be scripted. We're just going to talk to each other. And of course, as always, please subscribe to the channel. That's how it grows. There's an algorithm that we always want to kind of build. So please just subscribe to the channel, pass it along to other people. Make sure you like it, share it, do all those things. I'd really appreciate that. And with that out of the way, Anna, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
A little bit nervous, but
And yes, and I talked to Anna about that. Don't be nervous, you'll be fine. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
so I came to the United States when I was 3. I came from Portugal. My parents came under a work contract back then in the 60s. And as I grew up, we then moved to Jersey. I am a Jersey girl. Hey, Jersey. I was raised there until I met my husband. I got married, came back to Philly, and we had 3 children. I have twins that are 38, and I have a son, 2 girls, and I have a son that is 33, and I have 4 grandchildren. I have 2 girls, 2 boys. They are my life, and I live for them, and they make me very happy.
And I know Anna's kids. They're great kids, which again, not really surprising.
Yeah, one works here at the high school with us.
And an amazing teacher.
Yes.
Ama-
How about you, Shap? I mean, tell me about a little bit about like your growing up.
well, I'm an only child.
Me too.
I'm like, really?
I am.
Oh my God. I didn't realize that.
I am.
So only child, grew up in Philadelphia, then moved to a suburb of Philadelphia called Abington. Went to high school, went to Penn State, almost failed out of Penn State.
Why is that? That's the question.
Well, because I was lazy and more interested in doing nothing than doing something. But then got it together, and then have been, done a lot of things. Been still a personal trainer, been a teacher for 36 and a half years, husband, father of 2 kids, 2 dogs. Uh, just very grateful for a lot of things in my life.
Why did you become a teacher?
Well, I don't want to get too deep into it because I think it'll be long. But bottom line is I loved exercise as a kid. Was an exercise person. And when I graduated high school, my father wanted me to go into business, and I didn't really know anything else back then. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. And some people know the story, but the bottom line is at the end of my freshman year at Penn State, I was sitting in a lecture hall, and the lecture hall at Penn State were 400 people. Nobody, the teacher didn't know who you were.
Exactly. There's too
Just
many people.
right, too many people. So I couldn't understand the professor, and I was sitting up, and my friends and I were just talking about people we were dating. And all of a sudden, the professor says like supply and demand curves, and I've told this story so many times. And I turned to my buddy, and I said, "Yo, I'm going to be a gym teacher." And he says to me, he says, "Can I be there when you tell your dad?" So
I guess your dad didn't want you to.
he didn't want me to be a gym
Yes.
teacher. So that's a whole nother thing. But it was really just something I had. I had a really, really great teacher in college, Mrs. Gold, who I wrote about in my book. Just unbelievable teacher. I had a really good Spanish teacher in high school. And I thought, listen, if I could teach exercise to kids, something I'm passionate about, why not do it?
Exactly.
You know.
Well,
So
I want to tell you a little. I was a teacher 100 years ago. 100 years ago,
not 100, not 100
I
years.
went to Burlington County College. I went to high school in Riverside High. I have my associates in elementary ed, and I worked for 2 years down in Cowell Hill, down in Center City, for a little school that took care of children that came from broken homes, alcoholic parents, drug abusive parents. And I was there until I became pregnant with my twins. And then there goes the career of teaching for me.
Wow. You know what's crazy too? I mean, okay. I'm gonna ask Anna a question, and I after she answers it, I'm going to respond. Were you a great teacher?
I enjoyed being with the children.
Right. So she didn't answer it. So she did. She didn't answer the question.
Yes, I did. I did enjoy being a teacher.
And I didn't ask you that. I said, "Were you a great teacher?"
Was I? I don't. I hope I was.
I see. She didn't answer it again. It's because she's so humble.
No.
I'm going to answer it. 100% had to be an unbelievable teacher. Unbelievable. No doubt about it.
It was a wonderful experience. Yes, it was.
Of course. Of course.
Yes.
So this is the first kind of question. So I myself am a positive guy.
Yes, you are.
I am.
Totally.
Yep. But compared to Anna, I am like the Grinch.
No, you're not.
Okay. I am like the Grinch. I'm like the Grinch.
He's awesome.
Okay. Thank you. How do you stay positive? I guess I don't want to. Nobody's positive all the time, but I just stay positive most of the time. What do you attribute that to?
I think the way that I was brought up, I had very loving parents. I think I have a good husband who's very loving as well. I have my children are healthy. They're happy. My grandchildren are healthy and happy. And I think those are the little things in my life that make me happy. As long as the people around me are happy, then I'm a happy person. And how about you? What makes you so positive? You are the man.
Thank you. I would say for me, it's more, it's maybe not so much the stuff that you talked about. It's more about losing my parents at a young age. Like I lost my mom at 28. I lost my dad at 31, I believe, 30 or 31. And those aren't positive things, but they give you a lot of perspective.
You grow up.
Yeah, you grow up, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about like what's really important. And for me, even though I've always been a positive guy, even when I was young, I think when I lost both of my parents, that experience was so eye-opening that it gives you perspective that of things like the things that you worry about, right, they're generally meaningless.
Well, I lost my mom. I was 25. My mom was very young. Mm-hmm. She died of colon cancer at 58 years old. I had just had my twins. So I was really lost without her. She was my best friend. She was my mom. She was my confidant. She was a person that I talked to because I have no brothers and sisters. So she was it. I lived in this little bubble. And when she passed, I was very lost in this world. I really was. It was very hard. I had to find myself and raise my twins by myself with my husband. And I also have my dad to also help go through the loss as well. So I had to grow up very fast, even though I always, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. So you have to kind of grow up a little bit. So, and I think that I started to value life more because of the loss in my life. And then I had my daddy to always kind of help him through not only the loss, but being alone. And he became a big part of my family because he started to live with us and he was a very independent man. And so with all that, and I understand the loss, like you say, and when you are an only child, our parents, they're the world to us, because we don't have anybody else, so that I think for me made me grow up. And as I was growing up and figuring out how to raise my twins on my own, I think I believe in God a lot. And I think with prayer and the guidance, I managed. I think that's how we all, even with my cancer, I, my religion, my prayers, cried a lot. I cried a lot and prayed a lot because it was the most difficult time in my life. But I think that I value life a little more
Hmm.
because I don't sweat dramas stuff. I don't sweat that anymore. I think life is way too short to be dwelling on things like that.
I think that's so true. Like the small stuff. I remember just being young, and even though I was positive, I think about some of the stuff I'd get upset about, which really, in the grand scheme of things, was like a nothing thing. And when you go through loss, people who haven't lost somebody, it not only gives you perspective, you tend to see things in a different light. And you never want to lose somebody that you're close with. I mean, obviously, anybody who has parents or kids, you feel blessed that you have them. And I am obviously blessed for my family.
Always.
Always feel that way. But I also think besides those things, I'm a very low stress person.
Right.
I'm not really a high stress person. And a lot of that goes back to my own wellness, like of just, I want to live a long life. I want to be healthy. And I really believe just through studying myself and reading and just being who I am, that stress is a killer. It's a killer. There's so much data behind it. And if I can avoid stress by being a happier, healthier person, then that's what I'm going to do. And it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that either one of us never get upset. That's just
No, because that's the way life is. We will get upset in life, and a lot of things come our way that sometimes we're not expecting, but you learn how to work through them. And I believe in talking. I'm a talker.
we both are.
Or, well, hello, we could be here for hours, if you don't cut this. But I believe, to me, talking is the way of everything, I think,
Mhm.
and just, I think I treat people the way that I think that I would want to be treated. And I love people. I love to be alive, to
Mhm.
be, because I had such a scare in my life that I'm happy to be here.
And I think people that know Anna, she's always very like upbeat and happy and welcoming, and I think that's something that is a skill.
I learned from the best.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we both, I always believe that you call a spade a spade. Like if Anna says to me, you're really positive, I could poo-poo that and say no, I'm not, but I'd be lying. I am a very positive person, but also so is she, and I think you want to own. I always say own your greatness. I really believe that. I think if you do something well, you are really positive. Wouldn't you say that's true?
I mean, I don't see myself like that. I think other people see that, but like I just think I'm just a normal person.
Right, right. But if other people always see you as that way, doesn't that make it true?
I mean, in a way, I guess.
I mean, if everybody is saying this person's this way, yeah, and you're right. You just see yourself as a normal person, right?
I
Which
don't.
I do as well. But that doesn't mean that you don't have those traits.
Right. Well, that's. I guess you're right.
I mean, we all have those certain traits that we have. And I mean, I think a lot of it just comes down to, making a difference in people's lives, right? And making people, and those things happen through like small things that you do every day,
Right.
Whatever they are, saying hi, good morning,
Yes.
being kind, asking people if they need anything, giving
Right.
a compliment.
Right.
Well, for those who don't know, you going yet?
Well, that's what I think is so hard for me retiring is because I love my job,
Mhm.
number one, and I love to be with the kids and I the staff members
Mhm.
that I have built friendships, through 25 years. You build friendships and I think like waking up every day is a blessing right there. And then coming in and you say hello to these kids every day, and you get a lot of feedback from them as well. So like it's like I think it goes from each other, like it's like how you come across, and I like to see them smile. And it's like I think a smile doesn't hurt anybody, like a good morning or something.
That's it.
Why not?
I love that point because I say that to kids a lot. If you say good morning or you say hello or you shake hands or whatever it is, you're not hurting anybody.
No,
I mean, it's true that somebody might not get better from it,
exactly.
but you're not hurting them.
No.
That's like something we talk about so much. Like when you say good morning or hello or give a compliment or something, nobody's going to say, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said hello to that person," right?
Yes.
Like, no, it doesn't make
Right.
any sense, and
No.
nobody's going to say that. So
Exactly.
it's those little things, and that kind of like is like, how does it feel? I mean, how do you think it's going to feel to be retired?
I know. See, that's a big question. Like you have such a routine every day
Yes.
of getting up, doing your thing, coming in, doing your job. And then I don't know how that's going to be when it's like right now I feel like I'm going on summer vacation.
Mhm. Yes.
Because
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
That's so true.
Oh, we're going to yay, school's out for the summer.
Yes.
But then comes September or August, because we start in August. It's like I'm going to feel like, oh my God, like now what?
That's
like, now what?
That's so true. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that I'm gonna try to do like my routine,
Yep.
my showers. I'll get dressed, put on my makeup, and I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
So one of the things I asked Anna to be on here just so we could just have a talk, but also one of the goals that of every podcast is really to kind of get people thinking and inspired. Come away like, I don't know, being inspired by something that either I say or a guest says or both of us. And for those who don't know, Anna is a cancer survivor, and I remember when she got it, and I was like, for any person here, you would never have known that she had it, ever. Stunning. Like you would never know it because just her. And I'll also say this: I'm not really a religious person. It's just not me. I would say that my faith is strong,
Right.
but I'm not really religious. And I think about like how much praying you had to do and what you did, but at the end, like, how did you deal with cancer? How did you survive it? And what advice would you give to people who maybe know somebody with it or have it themselves?
So it was like a bit of a shock for me to find out. I mean, I found it myself.
Mhm.
I one day was lying in bed and I had an itch on the area where it was. My daughter-in-law was a nurse, and at the time they weren't married yet. And I had asked her name is Ashley. I said, Ashley, I had an itch on my breast, and I found looks like like a cherry pit. And she told me go to the doctors. The next day, I was able to get an appointment, and from then on, it was just boom, boom, boom. That it was cancer. It was stage 2. Had to do a chemo. Had to do radiation. It was a tough road, but I had a lumpectomy like a week before junior prom. And at junior prom, I was there. I did the catering for junior prom. I was all wrapped up. I wasn't allowed to lift or anything like that. But I told my doctor, I need to be at prom, junior prom. I need to go. He said, you can go, but just remember you cannot lift anything. So, but I think working and coming in every day, even though like some days were really shitty and I felt horrible, but I was here, and I think just being around the kids and being around the staff and my family was a big help as well. I think getting up and going to work kind of just made me feel a little better of just being out there, not being home and dwelling. Oh my God, I have cancer.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, I have cancer.
Right.
So I think that's one part of me that said I need to just go to work, And if I know somebody that is going through cancer, I do reach out. I have a few friends that right now are going through some cancer issues, and I call. And I mean, I don't want to be like a pain in the neck, but I always say that I'm there if they need me, if they want to talk. I mean, it's That's all a person can do is just give that phone call and let them know that you're there thinking about them.
Being supportive.
You try to support each other. Yeah.
And I remember again, I remember Anna going through and I was like, I don't know many people who could stay so upbeat while going through something so difficult. I mean, it's just crazy, but I remember when my father died of cancer. And I remember when he got it. I don't know, like he got it and then it went to remission and then it came back. And I remember even through his cancer, he just was so freaking positive.
Right.
It's like crazy, like just unbelievably positive. I don't know how he did it, but like just was able to keep going and really, you know, just get through it in a positive way.
Exactly.
So
it's been 8 years since that I'm.
Is it that long?
Yeah,
Oh my
8 years of
God,
remission.
8 years.
So, and I think just every year getting your mammogram and hearing that you're okay is such a relief for me. Because like I go in and I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous,
Of course.
but just the relief of them saying they got another year, hopefully.
So when you think about that, like you think about having cancer, it kind of gets to my question of you as you're going through it, what things in your life do you really treasure? Like, because when you have something like that, you are thinking deeply. I mean, when my father got sick, and my mother first and my father, it made me really think about like, what do I really treasure? Like, it sure as heck isn't half of the stuff that I think about.
You treasure your family, treasure your spouse, you treasure your children, your grandchildren, treasure that any little memory of things that happen with your grandchildren are like precious because like in you precious and you value your life.
Mhm.
Like I'm thankful for my life, because I had a second chance. I feel like I had a second chance at life, because when you go through, I think any sickness, cancer or any other sickness, like you feel like you're like under a rock and you just want it to go away.
Mhm.
And when you reach that point that I can see a light at the end of the tunnel, then there's a relief and there's a thankfulness of being alive.
Yeah, I mean, I
Have you gone through any experiences like this in your life?
I think, I mean, it's crazy because I think about it like, so I'll be 60 in July. Thank you. And I think about like being blessed, right?
Yes.
I've never had a serious health ailment ever. I've
That
never
is
really
good.
had anything serious. But like I said, I'll go back to, just losing my parents and losing some other close relatives, but just seeing what struggles they went through and trying to be there for them. I've had some of my closest friends have lost parents and seeing what that's been like. But again, I feel blessed that I myself have not really had those health issues. And I tell you, this is for everybody, like, don't take your health for granted.
Exactly.
Like, really don't do that, because I don't want to be dramatic. First of all, I'm not really dramatic, but I would say that take care of yourself. I don't want to get onto a whole thing about being healthy, because that is that's really like a Shap thing, and people who know me know that I could be preachy.
The donut.
Right? Don't eat a donut.
I love donuts.
I don't eat donuts, but I think really it's just like when I think back to it, it's just really thinking about losing my parents, being an only child, and not just that, other things in my life too, like losing a job at some point, and again realizing, and this is something I think is really important. And I don't, even though I do love quotes, I think it goes beyond that. Like when somebody says everything will be okay, I call that bullshit.
Well, I think that like when I was going through cancer, I always thought there's there's always people out there that have it a lot worse
Yep.
than I do. Okay, I'm going through this really tough time in my life and hopefully I can surpass it and beat it kind of quote. you listen to so many other people that have it so much worse than
Mhm.
you do,
Mhm.
and you're thankful that with our faith and whatever you believe in or who you believe in, if when you have that strong faith and of praying, I believe in prayer
Mhm.
a lot. For me, that helped me. That helped me surpass my cancer issue.
I would say that I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether this is a fault or a good thing. I'm not really sure. I guess I can be a little harsh. Like I'm very, I don't know, blunt. You think? I don't. I mean, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I don't really know, but I can be very blunt about things. Like I'm not a complainer. Like if something's not good, I get better at it.
Okay.
Well, I tried to get
fix
to
it.
try to fix it. Like I feel like it's unhealthy for me. I can't
Exactly.
speak for anybody else.
Mhm.
I feel it's unhealthy for me to complain about things in my life. Like if I'm not happy about something, then get freaking happy.
Right.
Now,
Or fix it. Fix the situation.
right. Or try to fix
Fix
it.
it.
Try
Right.
to,
Try
and
to
again,
fix it.
I know there's gonna be people like, well, it's not that easy. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but I also think that what's the alternative?
Yeah. I think people have struggles in their lives no matter who we are.
Hmm? Yeah.
Everybody has issues and problems. And I think if you just do it like one step at a time and talking, like I said again, I'm a
Mhm.
big believer in talking
Yep.
and trying to resolve whatever issue that it is. And it might not work for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Talking could be
It could be it could
problem.
be toxic.
Yeah, it could be a problem for some
Mhm.
people. So I think you have to know who you are to be, if you're a talker or not, or if you're trying a fixer or not. It's like it comes from within you.
But that's so true. Because think about like how we're here.
Right.
We're just talking, right? But that's because we're both talkers.
We're talkers.
Like if I said to Anna, like if I knew Anna, but she wasn't a talker, it'd be weird doing it, right?
Could you be like one answer, maybe just one word answer?
Right. So
Maybe that's good. I don't know.
so I think that's something where you got to know who you are. That's just such a great point because that is true. You do need to know. I have said so many times that I know who I am and I know who I am not.
I'm not a fighter.
Right.
I'm not a fighter.
I don't know if I am or not.
Yeah,
I would say that
I'm a lover.
Mhm.
I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter.
I would say that I'm more of a person. That's so tough. I don't know how I'd answer that.
Yeah.
I would say I'm somebody who stands up for what they believe in.
Yeah, I don't like confrontation.
Right. I don't
like
necessarily like them. I don't like them, but I also am the kind of person that will stand up very strongly for what I believe in and for stand up for others.
Right. Okay.
I will
Right.
I will do that because I believe that for me personally, that's something that I have to do. And again, it's not like these are not good, bad. They're just qualities. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong. Um, I guess my next thing would be we already talked about your cancer. Other how do you overcome hurdles and struggles? Like what advice would you give to people when you think about that?
Well, like I said again, I have my faith. I have faith. I enjoy speaking to someone if someone needs my advice on that topic, whatever topic it is.
Mhm.
If I have an opinion, I'll try to relate to whoever is asking me for opinions. I mean, I just like life. I like to be happy.
And it's funny you say that because you are the kind of person who I think one of the main differences in us is we are both very positive, but you're definitely a lot more compassionate than I am. And I'm not saying
Because I'm a woman, maybe.
I would say that's probably true.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that I'm not saying I'm not compassionate. I think I am.
You're a loving man.
Yeah,
You are.
yeah. But I'm much more like in your face. Like
And I'm not. I'm a little shyer in
right.
that aspect. I'm like, I know people say shy. Oh my God, no, she's not shy. I am a little shy.
Well, yeah, like if like you're very nurturing.
Right.
I'm not I'm not I'm not I'm not as nurturing.
I would feed anybody
Right.
if I could. I would feed the world.
Right.
You know.
Right. I'm not quite as nurturing. Um, yeah, I mean, I think, so this is, I'm putting you on the spot here.
Oh boy.
Okay. So we're not quite at the end. I have a couple questions, and then you can ask me any questions you want.
Okay.
So what are 5 tips that you would say that everyone should try to do?
Five tips.
Or ideas or thoughts or whatever you want to put into them?
I think that you have to love your life a little bit. It doesn't take much for me to make me happy.
Mm.
Show a little kindness, show a little love. Like I love to smile.
You do. You do always smiling.
I love smiling.
I've never seen Anna frown.
Well, there's times,
What, like once in a million?
Human, there are situations.
Never seen Anna frown.
Behind my closed doors, my little corner, I have my moments. But I just think just enjoy life as much as you can. Life is so short. I have lost so many close friends young in age that sometimes you wonder they're gone and they don't have this opportunity to enjoy life a little bit, and hopefully by retiring, I can enjoy a little bit of life. I can like to go traveling somewhere, and how about you? What do you want to do in your retirement? What's your plan?
Well, so in my situation, I really don't. I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of crap for this. I really don't feel like I'm retiring. I feel like I'm retiring from being in the classroom, but I don't feel like I'm retiring from necessarily working with people and helping kids and helping others, because I feel like I'm still coaching.
Right.
I'm hoping to mentor. So I feel like, yes, the term retirement to me is not a word that I generally use for myself. And it's not like, again, it's not a good or bad thing. I just don't generally use that word.
Right.
And as for 5 things that I think about,
Yes.
I mean, one I say would be hopeful. Be hopeful. It's kind of like the bees. Be hopeful. Be grateful. Um, be healthy.
Be happy.
Be happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And I'll even go back to before we got on. Were you nervous?
Today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you nervous now?
No.
Right. So before we got on, I mean, I've been doing this, so I'm not nervous because I've been doing it.
You've been doing that.
Been doing, but you would never know that you were nervous.
Right. Okay. I was nervous.
But
Okay.
put yourself out there. Really believe that is so critical in life, and this is for any age. It's any age, no matter what age you are. I think putting yourself out there is critical for a lot of reasons, and maybe we'll talk about that in another podcast about why that's important. And I guess my 5th one would, don't be perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect.
Like, don't be perfect. Don't try to be perfect. Try instead to just be your best self.
Your best self.
And accept that sometimes things are going to go great and sometimes they're not. And yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think, or I see retirement as another chapter.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that this chapter in my life here at the high school is going to end because there's going to be no more. But I'm hoping that there'll be another chapter in my life that hopefully I can enjoy a little bit of life and be free. I don't have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning like I do every day. Settle down a little bit more, because we're always in a rush. And maybe with the retirement, we can relax and maybe and look around our life.
It's funny, you've said this a couple times, but it's interesting. What does being hopeful mean to you?
Being hopeful? What do I hope for? I hope for a healthy life, not just for me, but for my family, my friends. I want everybody to be happy in their life, try to be at least. How about you? I mean, what do you?
It's crazy because I'm not really a hope kind of guy.
You don't. You're not a hope. I hope this and I hope that. I hope that. No,
No,
you're not.
no.
Oh, I hope this. I am a hope. I'm a. Oh, I hope
What
this
do you
works
what
out.
do you think I am?
You're
So
a realist.
so I'm not really a hope kind of person. What do you think I am?
I don't know, loving person.
Okay. I'm when people say I hope to do this, my response is stop hoping and start doing
it. Okay, like I said, you're more of a doer.
I'm much more
You're
of a
doer.
when somebody says, "Well, what do you hope to do?" I mean, I could answer it that way. I mean, I could say that I hope to write another book.
Oh, okay.
I could hope to travel, but honestly, I'm not hoping.
You have to do it.
Well, no, I'm doing it.
You're gonna do it.
I'm going to do it.
You're gonna travel.
I'm going to do those things, and I don't generally put time frames on. I think that's dangerous.
Oh yes, because then if you don't make it to that time, you're gonna like freak out.
Right. Like it's like if I say I'm going to do this, I try not to put a specific time frame on it because there's just too many hurdles. To cross. And then you're so right, Anna. It's like if you say, well, I'm going to do X, Y, Z in a month.
Right. Sometimes you don't have a month.
And this is kind of like for people who don't know SMART goals. A SMART goal is something that's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic and timely. And all of those matter. The one that I kind of think about is when you think about time, it's like somebody says, hey, if you said, Shap, I need to lose 20 pounds. And you said, well, I want to lose 20 pounds in a month. That time frame is horrible. I would say that time frame is not good because it's so unrealistic. So if somebody said to me, when do you want to travel? I would say whenever I can.
Okay.
Whenever I can. If somebody said, when do you want your book to be done? I would say as soon as it's possible to make it great.
Right.
Instead of saying like a month or something like that.
Because you don't know if you're going to be able to finish it in a month. Yeah.
Yeah, there's too many things. Too many things can happen.
What do you want to do for the rest of your life? Like what is something that you want to do?
Well, I mean, I want to be with my family, obviously. I want to travel.
Yes.
I would love a house at the beach.
Oh, wow.
I would love a house at the beach. I love the beach. I want to keep powerlifting and training. But really, beyond those things, I would say that just really be happy and not, be grateful. Because both of us, I mean, we have so much to be grateful for.
Yes,
we do.
absolutely.
We have a lot to be grateful for. You don't want to take things for granted as much as you can. Is there kind of a closing message you want to leave people with, or what are you thinking?
A closing message?
Or closing thought? What do you think?
A closing thought. Always, like I said, always respect people. Respect everyone. Love everyone. That's the person that I am. Is like always treat people, like I said, the way that you always want to be treated yourself. And how about you? What is your closing?
My closing message is more about like taking a time to just watch this and listen to what Anna had to say.
And Shap.
Oh yeah, and me, of course. But try to take it in, take some notes, especially what she talked about being hopeful and surviving and how to stay positive. Take some notes. I think that sometimes writing stuff down can be really helpful. Like when somebody says something that resonates with you, I love taking notes. I'm a note taker.
Like taking notes.
I love taking notes because I think it really helps me to like
focus.
1, 2, 3, 4, and even though they're just helpful. So my closing message really is to, first of all, I hope that everybody enjoyed this time together. I hope you guys.
Fun.
Yeah, yes, it was. Hopefully we can do it again.
I would love to.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll do it again. Hope you got something out of this. Some tidbit or some message that resonated with you, that was positive or uplifting. And
As I'm writing to the kids, because some of the kids are asking to sign their yearbook, I've been signing, good luck, of course, to their in their future. But I always be happy,
Mm.
try to be happy, smile,
Right. Right.
you're beautiful, things like that.
I'm gonna be nauseous. I'm gonna be nauseous from the positivity that's coming out. Everybody, listen. Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you so much for everything.
Yes, thank you.
Enjoy. Whatever you have coming your way. The closing words that I have said in most of my podcast is, first of all, I want to thank you.
Thank you. It was so wonderful. I had fun. I had fun. Hope it didn't bore nobody,
Please, everybody, you are awesome.
You're awesome. Bye.